Yes, ma'am. Good morning. So all of you, please check it out whether audio and video is clear or not. So then we can start our discussion directly with the new chapter. What is the new chapter? Advanced tax and interest. So all of you, please check it out whether audio and video is clear or not. Yes, ma'am. Straight away, we can start with the new chapter. What is the chapter name? Advanced tax and interest. So what is the expected weightage? Okay. So confirm you will get a 7-mark practical question. Yes, ma'am. Confirm you will get one 7-mark practical question, and there is a chance of getting one MCQ. But if they are given the complete 7-mark question, maybe they can skip the MCQ. But okay, overall we can expect 7 to 9 marks weightage from this chapter, and it is a very easy chapter and small chapter. Yes, easily you can score the full marks also in the practical question. Yes, shall we? Okay, coming to the chapter name, you can observe here we have two parts in the chapter name. The first part is what, ma? Advanced tax. Second part is an interest. In our CMA final, only we have an interest portion in our syllabus. So there is no advanced tax portion in our CMA final syllabus. But in order to calculate the interest provisions, yes, interest liability, definitely we need to know about the advanced tax also. Within first 5 to 10 minutes we can close advanced tax concept. Then after we can go to the complete discussion about the interest. So first I will give you an introduction related to advanced tax first. Listen carefully. If you know that advanced tax concept already, just listen for few minutes. They maybe can give one MCQ also from the advanced tax concept. Okay. So what is the previous year for our examinations, ma? 25-26. Immediately next financial year only called as what, ma? Assessment year. So what is the previous year? Year in which you are earning the income, that year is called as what, ma? Previous year. And next on that income we are required to pay the tax in which year, ma? Assessment year. How we are going to pay the tax in assessment year? By way of filing the return of income. What are the due dates are available for filing of return of income? 31st July, 31st October, 30th November. Remember, sir, any one of the due dates we can follow. Generally, how many due dates are available? 3. Any one of the due dates as per our situation we can follow, and we can file the return of income. By using this return of income only, we can pay the tax on which income earned during the previous year. Now here, I want to analyze one income details. Sir, you earn the income on the first day of the previous year. Example, you earn the income during the what, first day of the previous year. Now, on that income, we are paying the tax generally in that assessment year. Suppose this due date is applicable for our case. Sir, here there is a huge time gap between the income earned and the payment of tax. You earn the income on the first day of the previous year, but you paid the tax on what, ma? 31st 7 of assessment year. Here you can observe there is a huge time gap between the income earned and the payment of tax in terms of what, ma? Time value of money. Suppose if you are earning the income, if you are paying the tax also on the same date, definitely this is beneficial to the government in terms of time value of money. Earlier they are receiving the tax amount, they can utilize for any purposes also, right? So that's why here, because of this time gap, it is a loss to whom? Department. If anything is lost to department, they will not tolerate. So that's why in order to remove the time gap, they introduced the how many concept, ma? 2 concepts. One is an advanced tax, another one is an TDS and TCS. One is an advanced tax concept, another one is what, ma? TDS and TCS concept they introduce. Listen carefully. What is that advanced tax concept, sir? If you are earned any income during the previous year, yes, whatever that income you are going to earn in the previous year, please estimate even on the first day itself. They are saying simply estimate your income of the previous year on the first day. Please calculate the tax also. That you have to clear in how many installments, ma? 4 installments during the previous year. That means you are earning the income in the previous year and you are paying also tax in the previous year. Now, department is recovering this loss or not? Yes. Simply, advanced tax concept is favorable concept to whom? Department. If you are earning the income during the previous year, please pay the tax also during the which year, ma? Previous year. Now, what are the advanced tax installment, ma? Quarterly installment, 15th June. Next one, ma? 15th September, 15th December, 15th March. Okay, certain percentages you have to pay. These percentages I will explain you in the advanced tax concept. Okay, next coming to the TDS concept and TCS concept also. Yes, ma. Example you can imagine. Who will give the income to whom? Employer give the income to the employee. Employer will give the income to the employee. Sir, now he will give the total salary or after deducting the tax he will give net salary? After deducting the tax, net salary only he will give. Who will deduct the TDS? Payer. Who will deduct the TDS? Ma? Payer. Who will receive the payment after TDS? Ma? Pay. Now listen. Every month after deducting the tax only we are receiving the what income. After deducting the tax, yes, the tax portion will paid by the payer to whom? Government. Now tell me, here government receiving the tax amount as early as possible. Why? Before reaching the income into my hands, they are deducting the tax also deposited with the what? Government. So that's why it is the popular tax collection mechanism. So out of these two also, which is best to the government? TDS only. Because before receiving that income into my hands, payer is deducting the tax and deposited with the whom? Government. So that's why definitely it is a best tax collection mechanism and best tax administration also by the department. Understood? Now if anyone asked which tax collection mechanism is best, advanced tax or TDS? TDS only. So now these two concepts we have to discuss in a separate chapters. Now we are targeting advanced tax. Okay, one more chapter we have in TDS and TCS. Now, what are the things we are going to learn in this chapter, sir? What are the things we are going to learn in this chapter? Listen, wait a minute. Okay. What are the things we are going to learn in this chapter? Listen carefully. The first part of this chapter will discuss the what? Advanced tax. Second part will discuss about the interest. Third part is fees. Very, very important for MCQ fees part. Only 4 sections we have. Only how many sections we have? 4 sections. Understood, Ra? Yes. Now first we'll target the advanced tax provisions. First we'll target the what? Advanced tax provisions. Shall we? Yes. How many sections we have in advanced tax chapter or advanced tax topic? Yes. 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 219. So only 6 provisions we have. One by one we'll discuss. First we will discuss 207. 207 is nothing but meaning of advanced tax. What do you mean by the advanced tax? Simply, if any tax paid in advance is called as what? Advanced tax. That means advance means what? Generally you have to pay in assessment year, but you are paying in an advance in which year? Previous year. So that's why the tax is called as what? Advanced tax. If any tax paid during the previous year also, that is called as what? Advanced tax. You can write any definition, that is your wish. But last one technically important for MCQ. While you are earning the income, you are paying the tax. When you are earning the income, previous year. In the previous year only you are paying tax, right? So that is only called as what ma? Pay while earning of what ma? Income. Understood? So now generally we have to discuss the 208 in an order, but I will start 209 first. Then after we can discuss the 208. Sir, okay sir, I am ready to pay advance tax in a previous year. How to calculate advance tax liability? It is an actual basis or estimations basis? Estimations basis. On what basis? Estimation basis. Can you tell me estimation based means? Estimation basis means, can you tell me on which day we have to estimate? During the first day of the previous year itself, we have to estimate the total income during the previous year. So remember, it is an estimation based, not actual. Estimate the total income during the current previous year. That only you have to do in the first step. What is the second step? Please calculate the tax liability on the estimated total income. In step 1, you estimated some total income, right? Example, based on previous year trends, based on first 1 month income, easily you can estimate the total income. So I have a cunning thought like, why I need to estimate in a best manner? I will estimate loss, sir. Okay, if you can estimate, no problem, but you have to pay what? Interest. If you are estimated wrongly or if you estimated low, you have to pay the what? Interest in the future. So that's why, what do you mean by the tax liability? Income tax, surcharge, health and education says please compute. Interest. So how to calculate the tax liability? Income tax, surcharge, health and education says. Step 3. What is the step 3? Whatever that advance tax liability you got in step 1 minus, we can reduce the TDS and TCS. What is the reason? Already we paid, yes ma, before reaching that income into my hands itself, one type of tax we paid, right? So again, I have to pay this type of tax in the form of advance tax liability? No. Already we paid before receiving income into our hands itself. So that's why whatever we paid already, that we have to deduct from the advance tax. Example, 1 lakh income I am estimating. Out of that 1 lakh income, I have to pay 30,000 tax. Now what is that? Advance tax liability? 30,000. Already before receiving this 1 lakh in my hands, tax 5,000 deducted. Now this 30,000 tax, advance tax liability minus how much 5,000, because already I paid. Next one, if any relief given under section 8091, relief under section 8091, because of arrears of salary, department can give this relief. If any relief is given, please tell me, do I need to pay this tax again? No. Relief means tax liability will reduce. Please reduce the advance tax liability. Next, you know these two sections very well in your DTAA chapter. If any relief under section 90, if there is DTAA, if there is no DTAA, what is that, If there is no DTAA, $91. If there is no DTAA, what is that, $91. Next, if any relief is given, please tell me our tax liability will reduce. Yes, please reduce it. Next, AMT credit, MAT credit. In assessment of various entities, we discussed these two type of credits. If you are going to pay the normal provisions tax, if any AMT credit, MAT credit is there, we can reduce it from the what, tax liability. How many years this credit we can carry forward and set up? 15 years. So after removing these or all the things, we can call this as an balance advance tax liability. Remember what are the credits we can get? TDS, TCS, relief under section 891, DTAA under section 9091, AMT credit, MAT credit. Okay, finally what you got? balance advance tax liability. Please take the step 4. If the balance advance tax liability more than or equal to 10,000, then only you have to pay advance tax. Sir, you got here 8,000, sir. Do I need to pay advance tax? No. We got here how much, ma? 8,000. That is less than or equal to 10,000. Now I am not required to pay any advance tax. Whoever got this amount more than or equal to 10,000, remember equal to 10,000 also you have to pay advance tax. Generally, in practical ways, we are going to estimate the more and more amount here. Generally, if my estimated income 11 lakh, I will calculate with a 12 lakh by safe side. I will pay the some amount more only. Anyhow, I will get it as a refund if I am paying more advance tax also in the previous year. In assessment year, I will get it as a refund. So that's why estimate properly. Then in the last step, if you got more than or equal to 10,000, you will get balance advance tax liability you have to pay. Now, I will come back to the section 208 now. What is that? 208. So 208 is important for MCQ. Many times they asked. Now I will reveal this section. Listen carefully. So 208 is an exception or relaxation. It is what? Exception or relaxation. So now, if you are a resident senior citizen, can you tell me senior citizen means how many years of age? 60 or more. And if you don't have any PCBP income, no need to pay advance tax liability. Even if your balance advance tax liability more than or equal to 10,000. Sir, we calculated under section 209, sir. We got 12,000. We got how much, ma? 12,000. Generally, you have to pay, right? But if you are satisfying the two conditions, what are the two conditions? Resident senior citizen, you don't have any PCBP income. So that's why you are not required to pay the advance tax even if your balance advance tax liability is more than or equal to 10,000. Sir, how you know this amount of balance advance tax liability? In 209. That's why first we discuss 209. In step 4, you will get this amount. Even though that is more than or equal to 10,000, no need to pay advance tax if these two conditions are satisfied. Ma, I will tell you one example also. Listen carefully. Mr. A is a resident senior citizen, right? Advance tax liability how much, ma? 12,000. He having PCBP income. That's why, can you tell me he is relaxed or not relaxed from the provision? He is not relaxed. So that's why advance tax provisions will apply. What is the reason? He having the PCBP income. Second one, Mr. B is an 75 years of age and a resident senior citizen. Advance tax liability is how much? 13,000. More than or equal to 10,000. But he is not having the PCBP. Now tell me, advance tax provisions will apply or will not apply? Will not apply. No need to pay advance tax. This is only what? Relaxation. This is only what? Relaxation. Now listen carefully, all of you. Now we have 3 interest provisions in this chapter. What are the 3 interest provisions? Section 234A, very important provisions. And section 234B. Next, section 234C. 234A, 234B, 234C. This is an SSC if not file the return, non-filing or late filing of what? Return of income. Non-filing or late filing of return of income, if anything is done, we have to calculate the what? Interest. Interest we have to compute for non-filing or late filing of return of income. These two provisions, if you are not paid advance tax properly, you have to pay, you have to calculate the interest. You have to calculate the what? Interest. So nothing but, I will tell you in detailed way also. Okay, in detailed way also, what is a provision? interest for, what is that? Interest for non-payment. Yes, you are not at all paying the advance tax, or you paid some amount, that is an what ma? Short payment. If you are not at all paid or short payment of advance tax is done, you have to calculate the interest. That means during the total previous year, we have to pay advance tax in how many installments? 4. Yes, ma. Total previous year, we have to check whether we paid, okay, that is shortly paid or sufficiently paid. Not at all paid means we have to calculate interest. Yes, ma. Sir, what is 234C, sir? Interest for, what is that, ma? Interest for deferment of, interest for what, ma? Deferment of advance tax installment. Sir, every installment you have to pay sufficient amount. Otherwise, that is called as what, ma? Deferment of what, ma? Advance tax installment. Simply 234C, we are calculating the interest installment wise. Every installment whether we paid properly or not. But 234B we are calculating as an total. Now I want to analyze which interest provisions are related to advance tax. 234B and 234C. Now for any person, if an advance tax provisions itself not applicable means automatically advance tax related interest provisions also not applicable. Example, if you observe in our case, Mr. B no need to pay any advance tax because advance tax provisions are not applicable. Automatically interest provisions under section 234B, 234C will not apply, 234A will apply. Why? It is related to what, ma? Return of income. Many students are doing this mistake. Don't do this. Advance tax provisions will not apply means advance tax related interest provisions also will not apply. What are the advance tax related interest provisions, ma? 234B, 234C only. 234A will apply normally. Clear? Yes, that is only I written here. Advance tax provisions if not applicable, advance tax related provisions also will not apply. That is 234B, 234C. What is 234A, ma? It will applicable only, that is related to return of income, late filing or non-filing. Ma, understood? So 208 also done. 208 also done. Shall we discuss the 210? Yes, 210 is very small provision. They are clearly saying that yes, if you are required to pay advance tax, sir, when we are decided to make the payment of advance tax, balance advance tax liability is more than or equal to 10,000, you have to pay advance tax. వినిపిస్తుందా? నేను నిన్నే అనుకున్నా, అంటే వాడు ఇక్కడికి వస్తాడు ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా, వాడు నైట్ నిన్న ఎక్కడైతే ఆపాడు అక్కడ నుండి స్టార్ట్ చేశాడు, అది కూడా క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యాక చేద్దాము. ఓకే, నౌ లిసన్. 210 is saying that if you are required to pay the advance tax, when we can decide to pay, if the balance advance tax liability is more than or equal to 10,000. Sir, how to pay that? Please pay advance tax during the previous year in installment basis, not one time payment. In installment basis. That installment is defined in which section? 211. That installments are given in which section, ma? 211. So you have to pay advance tax installment wise. That installments are mentioned in which section, ma? 211. Ma, 211 is important for MCQ point of view. Listen carefully. Advance tax payments are installment wise, right? Okay. But these installments are clearly given in a different way. SSC can opt the what, ma? Presumptive taxation provisions, or SSC can follow the what, ma? Normal provisions. You can follow the normal provisions. or you can follow the presumptive taxation provisions under section 44 AD, yes ma, 44 AE, 44 AD, 44 AE, next one ma, 44 ADA. Okay, we can write in an order 44 ADA and 44 AE. Yes. Anything you can follow. In general, I can follow normal provisions. Or if any presumptive taxation provisions are applicable, I can follow presumptive taxation provisions also for declaring income, not payment of tax. Tax computation is normal. For declaring the income, you can follow the normal provisions or presumptive taxation provisions. Suppose if you follow the presumptive taxation provisions of these two sections, what are the sections ma? 44 AD, ADA. For you, single advance tax installment only they mentioned in the ACTRA. How many ma? Single. There is no multiple advance tax installment ma. Single installments, that is nothing but 15th March of the watra previous year. Single installment you have to follow. What is that? Single installment you have to follow. Ma, understood? There is no 4 installments. You presumptive means you have a low income, so that's why no problem. Please pay total advance tax in the year end of the month. What is that? March month 15th on or before you can pay. On or before the March 15th you can pay. Sir, now SSE following the normal provisions, sir. SSE is following the normal provisions, sir. No, SSE is following the 44 AE, sir. Now, for them, what other advance tax installments are there? Now, separately we'll discuss, ma. Yes, ma. If SSE following the normal provisions or what ma? 44 AE presumptive taxation. Simply, other than these two provisions, opted SSEs. Yes, ma. For them, we given how many installments, ma? 4. We know 15th June of previous year, 15th 9 of previous year. Next one, ma. 15th December of previous year. Last installment 15th March of the watra previous year. Suppose as per section 209 we computed the balance advance tax liability, that is in 1 lakh we got. Example, how much ma? 1 lakh. Remember, what is a balance advance tax liability we got ma? 1 lakh. How to calculate the balance advance tax liability? You know already. Yes, by using the which section ma? 209 we calculated, we got 1 lakh. For computation easy purposes we taken the rounded figure, that is in 1 lakh. Can you tell me it is more than or equal to 10,000, right? Yes, definitely you are required to pay the advance tax. Okay, during that first installment they are saying at least you have to pay the 15% of the balance advance tax liability. How much at least you have to pay? How much ma? 15%. Sir, more than if you paid also okay, but you have to clear at least how much ma? 15%. That means minimum please pay 15,000 on the first installment. Sir, when we estimated these things, first day of the previous year itself we estimated, we computed the tax also, some credits we given, and it is a balance advance tax liability. What are the credits we given while computing the balance advance tax liability? TDS, TCS, relief under section 89(1), DTAA credits, MAT and AMT credits, all the things we reduce. Okay. Second installment they are saying at least you have to pay 45%. So these percentages are saying in which way ma? Cumulatively. If you observe, first installment 15. Next it is not a separate 45 ma. This 45 includes what? 15. Now tell me, you have to pay 45,000 as on this date, but already we paid how much ma? 15,000. That's why you have to pay how much? 30,000 only here. At least you have to pay totally as of this date. How much? 45. But already we paid 15. The balance 30 you can pay. Next installment. Tell me, next installment how much you have to clear? At least 75%. 75,000 you have to pay. But already first installment 15,000 we paid. Second installment 30,000 you paid. Balance how much, ma? 30,000. Last you have to pay whole amount 100%, that is 1 lakh. But first installment 15,000, second installment 30,000, third installment 30,000. The balance 25,000 you have to pay. Remember, these percentages are expressed in a cumulative way. These percentages are expressed in cumulatively, not a separate percentages. Understood all of you? Yes, these are the installments are available, ma. Can you tell me if you opted the 44 AD, 44 ADA single installment? If you opted the normal provisions or 44 AE, the 4 installments are there. In that each and every installment, how much we are going to pay also, 15%, 45%, 75 and 100. Sir, many of you having the doubts. Sir, instead of 15, 12% is there, sir. Instead of 45, 36% is there, sir. That I will tell you under 234C provision. Whatever you have in doubt, that is correct only. But I will tell you at the time of discussing 234C. Okay. Ma, understood? If you observe this is only example we taken here. Yes, ma. If you opted the 44 ADA single installment, if you opted the any other provision other than 44 ADA, yes, can you tell me how many installments, ma? 4 installments. And in this installment, what you have to pay also, we discussed again, remember, 15%, 45%, 75%, 100%. These percentages are expressed in a cumulative way. Okay. Sir, whatever that advance tax I paid here, okay, whatever that advance tax I paid during that previous year, okay, while filing the return of income, can I get the advance tax amount as a creditor? In assessment year, I have to pay the tax. But already I paid some tax in the previous year itself, right? What are the 2 types of taxes we can pay in the previous year? One is advance tax, another one is an TDS and TCS. These 2 amounts you can get the credit while paying the tax in assessment year. Or example, salaried SCs, how they are taking the refund? In the assessment year, while they are paying the tax, whatever the TDS deducted, they are reducing. So that's why they are getting refund. Some cases, if your TDS is less than the required amount of tax, you have to pay. Same way, you can get the credit of advance tax also. That provision only 219. What is a 219? 211 is installment, 219 is advance tax credit. Whatever that advance tax paid by the SSC during the previous year, that amount you can take it as a credit in assessment year. So that is also done. Now we discussed the provisions relating to advance tax in and out in detailed way. So with this understanding, now we can start the interest provisions directly. What are the provisions, ma? Interest provisions directly. Now in this session, I will tell you only 4 interest provisions. No, 5 interest provisions I will tell you for you. First, this 3, yes, these 3 are very important, right? Yes, ma, these 3 are very important, right? I will tell you these 3 interest provisions along with the 1 question or 2 questions. And 234D, 244AA also I will tell you. But to be honest, I am expecting the 244A question for last 2 to 3 attempts. Still they are not given. Yes, in this time we can expect 244A related practical question. Or if you know, every time we are getting the questions from the 234A BC. For a change, if they are asked, they can give only one practical question on 244A. So that's why we don't want to leave that concept also. We'll discuss everything. Now, can I start the 234A now? All of you, Can I start 234A concept ra? Okay. 234A is exclusively related to which concept ma? Return of income. If an assessee not file the return of income, or if he late file the return of income, then we are required to calculate the interest under which section ma? 234A. Then what are the 234B, 234C provisions? Advance tax related. As in total, if you not paid or short paid during the previous year totally, if you not paid, short paid of advance tax 234B. Installment wise, first installment you have to clear how much? 15%. Second, 45. Third, 75. Fifth, fourth, 100. If you are not paid that installments properly, installment wise deferment or postponement is done. We have to calculate interest under section 234C. The many students doesn't know the difference between these two sections. How they are doing the problems also I don't know. Remember, these two interests we can calculate. But B is nothing but what? During the previous year totally. Whether you are not at all paid or whether you short paid the advance tax. 234C is nothing but what? Deferment of the advance tax installments. Deferment of what? Advance tax installment. Okay. Now our target is 234A. Please open 234A. But this is only we discussed clearly. Yes, three interest provisions are very important. What are the three interest provisions also already I written? During the total previous year, if you verified 234B, installment wise interest if you calculated 234C, these two are related to what? Advance tax. 234A always related to what? Return of income. Now we'll calculate the 234A now. We'll calculate the what? 234A now. So I will tell you in detailed way. I don't know how you learn these provisions earlier, but these provisions in our CMA final, too much in-depth knowledge is required for these provisions. Easy only. Okay, shall we start first of all? Okay, ma. Tell me, 234A interest for what purposes? Interest for, tell me ma, interest for non-filing, late filing of what? Return of income. The first consequence is non-filing. You are not at all file the return of income. Second one, okay, if you want to file the return of income on or before the due date, you have to file. But if you file the return in a late manner also, you have to calculate the interest. Two consequences. The first consequence is non-filing. Second consequence is late filing. Or whenever you have an interest computation, please remember the only three variables. How many variables ma? Three. So now we are discussing the 234A, right? Yes. You know for what purpose? Interest for non-filing. Please give me help. Or late filing of what? ROI. Okay, these two consequences related. Now we are going to calculate the interest. Three variables ma. Amount. What is that? Amount into rate of interest. Then we have to multiply this rate of interest with the what? Period. Remember, if you know these three variables, easily we can compute the what? Interest. What are the amount, percentage, the rate of interest as well as what? Period. Now, sir, every variable related I will tell you. Sir, interest rate, I will give you the clarity here itself. What is the interest rate? 1% per month or what? Part of 1% per month or what? Part of. Okay. Now, Generally, I will take the example. After that, I will fill these variables. Yes, ma. One example I will tell you. Yes, based on this example only, you can understood the total concept. Okay, give me 100. Updated. ఇది ఎక్కడిది? ఓకే, ఫేస్లో కలజోడు ఎలా ఉందో. ఇది ఎక్కడ సమీర్ నీకు? ఓకే, example will discuss what are the consequences. I will write it on that example again because we have the same example in our handwritten also, but that is not. And okay, if I am explaining from this, maybe you will not understood certain extent. That's why I will re-explain everything by using the notes. What are the consequences? Non-filing. Second consequence is what? Late file. Second consequence is what? Late file. First, I will tell you the non-filing case. Yes, in case of non-filing, how to calculate the interest. And next, I will tell you in case of late filing, how to calculate the interest in a normal way. What is the previous year? Tell me, ma. 25, 26. Related to that previous year, in assessment year 26 to 27, you are required to file the return of income on or before the due date. Tell me, ma. What is a due date? Generally, we can take 31st 7 is a due date for. Before the due date, you are not filed. Even after the due date also, you are not filed the return. It is called as what? Non-file. Before the due date, not filed. Even after due date, you have a chance to file the belated return, but you are not filed that. So now, can you tell me which assessment will conduct by the assessing officer? Best judgment assessment. What is that? Best judgment assessment will conduct by the whom? AO. Because we are not at all responding to the return of incomes. We are not filed anything. So which assessment will conduct by the AO directly? Best judgment assessment. Can you tell me what is the section number for this? 144. Okay, the best judgment assessment is done. Now AO. Who is that? AO. After the completion of assessment, he will send the assessment order, right? After completion of best judgment assessment, he will send the best judgment assessment related order. Along with this order, what he will send? DN notice. What is that? Demand notice he will send. So nothing but, sir, you are required to pay this much of tax as well as this much of interest also. Why he will calculate the interest? You are not filed the return, right? Who will calculate the interest here directly? AO. Because SSC is not at all filed anything. So here directly who will calculate the interest? Yes. So now in demand notice, the assessing officer will ask the tax along with the interest under section what? 234A. Sir, please understood this logic. In case of non-filing, tell me. In case of non-filing, interest under section 234A will compute by whom? Calculated by whom? AO. Here SSC will not at all calculate anything. Directly who will calculate? AO. Okay, understood the first thing. Sir, now first here we discussed the non-filing case. Non-filing case who will calculate directly? AO. Shall we discuss the late filing case? Okay, late filing means SSC done filing of return of income after due date. Okay, now we'll discuss the late filing point. What is that? Late filing point. Understood a non-filing? Whenever 234A non-filing word if you see, then that interest computed by the whom? AO. Now we'll discuss the late filing point. Understood up to now? Online? Listen carefully. Here, you know previous year 25-26. What is that assessment year? 26, 27. Okay, assessment year dates I will take, because the total return of income drama will happen in which year? Assessment year. Now, tell me, due date is 31st 7, you are not filed before the due date. Then you have a chance to file the belated return, right? That means on or after due date, after due date, you file the return. So for filing the belated return, I will tell you the time limit. I don't know how many of you remember this, that return of income you can file in a belated manner. Yes, that is nothing but 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year, that is 31st 12 of an assessment year. What is that? 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year. End of what, relevant assessment year. What is that? Assessment year ending March. 3 months prior means what? 31st December. Now, or assessment completion, this details I will give you, because yes, you file the return. You file the return. Now, assessment completion details, first, first February of an assessment year. This details is what, assessment completion. Sir, act clearly saying that before completion of assessment or 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year, earlier of the 2 dates please take. Earlier date, yes, what is the date, this one. On or before the date you have to file the return. Belated return provision 139 subsection 4 clearly saying that whichever earlier of the 2 dates, one is 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year. Second one, assessment completion. In exam, they will give you assessment completion data that we don't know. Okay, SSC file the return exactly on the 30th 9 of the assessment year. He filed the return of income under section 139 subsection 4. Can you tell me within the date he filed or after the date? Within the date. That means he filed the belated return, yes, before the what? Due date only. That is correct or incorrect? Correct. Now I will tell you, when SSC filed the return 30th what, 9. Who filed the 30th 9 of an assessment year on the date? Who filed the return? SSC filed. Understood? Belated return you have to file earlier of the 2 dates. What is it earlier? December. On or before this date, at any time you can file the belated return. Our SSC filed what? 30th 9. Can you tell me before the due date he is not at all filed? After, yes, that's why it is what, late filing. Now tell me, on this date who filed the return, SSC. Now tell me, SSC at the time of filing of return of income, yes, income he declared, just random I'm taken, at the time of filing this belated return, he declared the income 12 lakh. Okay, in return, how much he declared? 12 lakh. What is the tax? What is the tax on this he calculated? 3 lakh. Just random. How to calculate that? Don't ask. Just random numbers we are taking. Okay. Based on this, if we calculated interest under section 234A, SSC computed 234A interest, that we got how much, 5,000. Because on this amount we calculated interest. Because he is saying that, sir, our tax is itself what? 3 lakh. On 3 lakh we calculated what? Interest. So that's why, yes, on that how much we got? 5,000. But these details will blindly department will accept or department will verify? Department will verify. Can you tell me when department will verify? After completion of what? Assessment. After completion of what? Assessment. Who will verify? Assessing officer. Now assessing officer computed the income. That income is saying as an 15 lakh. Automatically tax also increased to how much? 3.5 lakh. Now AO will calculate the tax on how much? 3.5 lakh. Okay, Samir, please close the door. How much you will get? 5,900 he got. Sir, how you got random numbers I taken? Because on this tax he calculated the interest 5,000. Here now AO will calculate the tax on how much ma? 5,900. Sorry, calculate tax on how much ma? Sorry, interest on how much ma? 3,50,000. Previously interest calculated on 3 lakh. Here interest is calculated on 3.5 lakh. Now tell me, first who calculated interest in late filing? SSC. If I am filing the return of income, if perfectly I declared everything in return, that will be accepted by whom? AO. The same interest liability we can get. But here why difference is got? We are declaring the lower income, so that's why AO recomputed everything. AO asking the extra interest. Now AO, after completion of assessment, AO will send the what? Demand notice to whom? SSC. So assessment order first they will send. Now they will send the what? Demand notice also. In this demand notice, what they will ask? Tax, how much they will ask? 50,000 only, because already you paid how much? 3 lakh. Now extra they will ask. Here interest also, earlier how much you paid? 5,000. Now interest under section 234A, how much they will ask? 5,900 minus 5,000, that is what? 900. Remember, whenever AO computed the interest, that interest shall be reduced by the whatever that interest we paid at the time of self-assessment. Understood? Now in case of late filing, you have to remember the two things. Here the first interest who will compute, the next interest who will recompute. Tell me ma, first who will compute? First SSC required to compute. First SSC required to compute interest under section 234A. Yes ma? Yes. That is final one. No. First you can calculate. You can pay also. Then who will recalculate ma? Yes. Then means what ma? Second, next one. Yes. Then final interest computed or calculated by AO. This is only we can use the name as an what? Final interest. Now tell me, so 234A interest means you have to remember whether it is non-filing or late filing, you have to ask. Open the door. Yes sir. Whether it is an non-filing or late filing. Non-filing means one fellow only will calculate. Late filing means what ma? 2. Now I will write it down here. Yes ma. Please tell me, amount means here some cases who will calculate AO, some cases SSC. So now here assessed tax, please take. On the assessed tax only we are going to calculate what ma? Interest. Can you tell me here what is that assessed tax ma? 3 lakh. Here assessed tax 3.5 lakh. That means whenever SSC computed, this tax is called as what ma? Self-assessed tax. Whenever AO calculated the interest, this is an AO determined tax. Understood? Yes. Whenever SSC calculated, it is an self-assessed tax. Whenever AO calculated, it is called as what ma? AO determined tax. Simply, yes ma, self-assessed income into tax rates, self-assessed tax. AO determined income into tax rates, AO determined tax. In exam, you have to take care properly who is calculating the interest. Based on that, you have to take the tax also. Minus, this is a tax we have to pay. But already in previous years, we paid some amount of taxes, right? Ma, why they are asking the interest? You are not paying the tax. Okay, this much of amount I am not paying the tax. But already I paid how much amount of tax? TDS and TCS I paid during the previous year, and previous year already I paid some advance tax also. Now some amount of tax are already I cleared in the previous year. On the tax portion I don't want to pay interest. Minus ma relief under section ma 89 subsection 1 minus DTAA relief under section 1991 minus AMT or what ma MAT credit. Sir, if you removed everything, you will get the what shortfall. On that shortfall, please calculate the interest. On the what ma shortfall, we have to calculate the interest. Sir, why these credits we are removing here ma? Any idea? Because these type of taxes we are already paid in that which year ma? Previous year itself, or these are the reliefs we got. Reliefs means nothing but no need to pay these amounts of what ma? Taxes. And remember this. Now rate of tax rate of interest already you know. What is the rate of interest ma? 1% per month or part of the month. Now the period I will tell you in a two ways. That period I will tell you in a two ways. What are that? Yes, listen carefully. The period, the first one, non-filing we can take. What is that ma? Non-filing. Here I will take the late filing. Non-filing related, yes, we have to give the more punishment, right? Late filing means we have to give the what ma? Less punishment. Why? Anyhow you filed in a belated manner. Okay, first we'll discuss the non-filing related. Yes ma? Non-filing related. Ma, can I give the one shortcut or one clarity? Whether AO calculating interest also, whether SSE calculated interest also, period is remains same. Again I am repeating. Sir, what is difference? SSE tax is different. Whenever SSE calculated, self-assessed tax. Whenever AO calculated, AO determined tax. But period is same for SSE computation also or AO computation also. This period is same. Okay, non-filing from date please tell me, and to date also. In between these two dates, months, how many months are there? For that months we have to calculate the interest. Tell me ma. Last date, what is that? Return of income due date. Up to that we can find. Next day after the due date, we have to start the interest computation. Here also from date is same. What is a from date? Next day after the what ma? Due date. So date after due date. Date after what ma? Due date. Here also date after due date under section 139(1). So example 31st 7 is an due date. What is that ma? 31st 7 is an due date. We have to start the interest from which date? 1st August. 1st August. Next, till what date? Here non-filing means who will calculate here? AO. Directly who will calculate? AO. That means when ma? Till the date of completion of assessment under section 144. Date of completion of assessment under section. Date of completion of assessment under section 144. Are you understood? Remember why we are taking these dates? Because here who will compute interest directly ma? AO only. Ma, one more thing. Okay, I will give you the more clarity. Here the only will calculate by the AO. AO will take this period. But in case of late filing, first who will compute? SSE. Then after who will compute ma? AO. So that's why here both are computing. Both the computations also we need to take the same period. SSE computation, a date after the due date, till the what ma date of filing of return, because in late manner also we filed, right? Date of filing of what ma return, date of filing of return. Now yes, here who will compute the interest ma? First SSE, then after AO. Yes, whenever computed by SSE also, AO also, for the same period we have to calculate the interest. But what is the difference between those computations? Only here SSE computation self-assessed tax, AO computation we have to take the what ma? AO determined tax. Understood all of you? Yes sir. If this is done, now I will tell you one more point, then we can discuss the questions under 234A. 234A done ra, but before discussing 234A, you have to accept for two consequences we can calculate the interest. What are the two consequences ma? Non-filing, late filing. In case of non-filing, who will compute interest directly? AO. In case of late filing, first SSE, then after AO. Yes ma. But non-filing, who will calculate? AO. So that's why next day after the due date to date of completion of assessment by the AO. In case of late filing, yes, first SSE, then after AO, the period will be date after the due date to date of filing of return. Next year, rate of interest ma 1%. Here, at the time of SSE computation, we have to take the self-assessed tax. At the time of AO computation, AO determined tax. Understood? Yes. Now, just I have a few doubts, practical doubts. Okay. Without filing of return of income, can I pay tax? Okay. Example. Okay, in few days, our ITR forms will open. I can file my return on or before the due date. But now I haven't doubt. Sir, I don't want to file the return, sir. Later I will file the return. But now I want to pay the tax. Can I pay? Yes, you can create the challan easily. Whatever the amount you can pay, you can pay. Okay, if you don't want to believe that fact, please come to my office or anything. I will pay the crores of amount of tax also on behalf of you with your money only, without filing the return. Possible. They will accept it. Now I will tell you here why they are asking the return for tax only indirectly. For tax payment purposes only they are asking the return. But some cases I am unable to file the return because certain uncertainties is there in the filing of return. Okay, maybe there is an issue in the classification of income also, or tax rates taken also, and which rates we have to apply also. Maybe there is an uncertainty. Now you are unable to file the return. But in order to reduce this interest burden, can I pay tax? Yes. Now I will talk about that point. Yes, listen carefully. This is an important point. Yes, after this we can go directly for the question and answers. Yes, very important. Sir, we calculated the total shortfall. SSE. Yes, how much total shortfall he got under this section? Yes, this is only shortfall. Yes, how much? 5 lakh. Yes, example, how much he got? 5 lakh. On this 5 lakh, he needs to calculate the interest. You know this fact very well. Now, simply, he will verify everything. This is an due date of return of income. This is an due date of what? Return of income. Under section what? 139 subsection 1. He is not at all filed the return. Now, interest will start from this period and ending with the what period? Yes. Tell me, if that is an late filing, up to what date? Date of filing of return. Up to the what? Date of filing of return. Sir, if it is an non-filing, it is an what? Date of completion of what? Assessment. So, date of completion of what? Assessment. So, you know, any one of the dates will be applicable. Yes, you know, any one of the dates. Starting interest computation, and this is an interest computation ends. So now SSE can do Sir, why he is delaying the filing of return of income? Because he is unable to file the return of income because of some insufficient details. Now, SSC on this day, exactly on this day, he paid the self-assessment tax. Yes, ma. This is an 1/8 of an assessment year. Next day after that, what, ma? So, date after the due date will start the interest, right? Sorry. Date after what? Due date. Date after due date will start the interest computation. What is nothing but what, ma? August. But in the 12 of an assessment year, that means on this day he paid the self-assessment tax. How much, ma? 2 lakh. Ma, in this period, please tell me, all of you, what is a shortfall, ra? 5 lakh. We are not paid anything before this date. Shortfall is how much, ma? 5 lakh. Shortfall is how much, ma? 5 lakh. And interest also on 5 lakh only we have to calculate. But after this date, what is that balance shortfall? Because you paid some amount of tax to department. What is a balance shortfall? 3 lakh. Interest also we have to calculate on what? 3 lakh. Understood? After making the payment of these 2 lakhs, what is that balance shortfall? 3 lakh. Sir, now SSC is an intelligent. Generally, for this entire period, we have to calculate the interest. Now, that period is break down into the 2 parts by way of paying the self-assessment tax. Yes, for this period, he will calculate interest on total shortfall because in this period, what is the shortfall? 5 lakh. But after making the payment of self-assessed tax, that period, whatever is there after payment, on that period will calculate interest on what, ma? What is the shortfall amount after this date? 3 lakh. Tell me, interest burden will reduce or increase? Reduce. Now tell me, what is that important point? Without filing of return of income. Okay, definitely if you are not filed the return, they will ask you interest. How SSC will reduce the interest liability? If you paid any self-assessment tax. If you paid what? Self-assessment tax. Okay. In our workbook, in one question, that is question number 1 only, one funny thing will be there. Ma, I will always say this point. I will always say this point as a note. What is that? If any self-assessed tax is paid, automatically 234A interest burden will reduce. Simply tax planning. Okay, somewhat it is also tax planning only. Okay, our SSC intelligent. How is an intelligent also we can discuss now. Interest will compute. It is an late filing akka. What is that akka? Late filing. In late filing, please tell me when we will start the interest computation, ma? Date after due date. What is that? Date after due date under section 139 subsection 1. Till what date we have to calculate, ma? Date of filing of what, ma? Return. Date of filing of what? Return. Between this period we have to calculate what? Interest. Okay, now I will give you what is the total shortfall? 6 lakh. Example. How much, ma? 6 lakh. Now, example, this is an 1/8 of an assessment year. You file the return on 30th or 31st December of what, ma? Assessment year. How many months? August, September, October, November, December. 5 months. If he filed a return on this date, how many months late happened? 5 months. Okay, if he paid any self-assessment tax in between this period, now we can break down the period into 2 parts. Here we can calculate interest on total shortfall. Here we can calculate interest on balance shortfall, right? In our question, they will say SSC file the return on that date of return. He paid the self assessment tax paid. Now proudly they will say at this point, when he paid the self assessment tax at the time of filing of what return. Now tell me, interest burden anything will reduce? No. When that interest burden will reduce in between the period, if you paid self assessment tax, that interest burden will reduce. Here shortfall means what? Okay, you paid 3 lakhs, sorry, you paid 4 lakh on that day. No use. Why? In this interest computation period, if I am asking the shortfall means what? 6 lakh. Yes, ma, when shortfall reduced on this day, no use. Interest also we have to calculate on what? 6 lakh only. Ma, understood 234A. Even I am not ignored even one small point also in this discussion. Now we'll take the question number 1. If you done this question number 1, everything you can understood. Question number 1 from the workbook we can discuss. After that we can take a break. So majority of the concepts will over. Why? Ma, anyone can understood the 234A and remaining provision easily you can understood. Why? If I am saying non-filing, you need to say what? This interest computed by AO. If I am saying late filing, this interest computed first by the SSC, then after AO. If these points now I injected in your mind in 234A concept, then same concept will discuss in B and C also. Easily you can understood within the less time. But now after discussing the 234A question, we can analyze whether we know this concept or we need to learn more also. Yes, they are asking calculate interest under section what 234A. How many SSCs they given please look and tell me. A individual, B individual and A limited company they given okay. Now whatever the facts they given, due date of filing of return of income, they are okay, they are very good fellows they given, but we need to identify easily. Company due date is 31st October. Individual due dates are what? 31st July. Actually they file the return. Tell me, they file the return in which manner? Late manner because due date is July, they filed 4th December. Second one also what? Late filing. Third one is non-filing. You have to understood these things by way of given information. Okay. So here, how many cases they given? 3. 2 are what? Late filing. Last one is what? Non-filing. Why they given this information? If anyone said, yes, I will accept this explanation. Why they are given the completion of assessment? In case of the non-filing, we have to compute the interest. In case of the what? Non-filing, we have to compute the interest. Yes, when? From the date after the due date to completion of assessment. That's why they given the date of completion of assessment. Yes, please tell me 1st March, 15th April, 15th February. Income as per your return means nothing but what? SSC, yes, he declared the income in his return. This is only. Now, AO identified the income in assessment, this one. Why they given both? Yes, you know already. In this question, they will ask SSC interest computation, AO interest computation also. They are given the income or tax. Income. On this income, please calculate the tax. Then easily you can calculate SSC determined tax, AO determined tax also. Understood? Yes. Advance tax paid details given. TDS also given. What is it used? We can take it as a credit while you are calculating the shortfall. SSC tax minus TDS, TCS, relief under section 89(1), AMT credit, math credit, 1991 related DTA reliefs also we have to reduce. They given tax paid when ra? At the time of what ma? Filing of return. In these two cases only you file the return. You paid the tax when ra? At the time of filing of what ma? Return. Sir, SAT, self-assessment tax is paid. Look at the screen ra. At the time of filing of return ra. So that's why, can you tell me, is there any interest burden reduced? No. No need to consider also. Why ra? In case of late filing, we can calculate interest up to the what ma? Date of filing of return. Here they paid the tax also on the last day. So that's why interest burden, is there anything is reduced? No. So that's why I will not consider that fact. Now, here, very important thing. First they asked the compute that interest directly. Then they are asking, look at the screen, also calculate the interest for 140A purposes. That means what? Self-assessment. Simply they are asking the first first here AO computed interest. AO computed interest means final interest. Then they asked the what ma? How the SSCs computed the interest also. They are ignoring every section of interest, other provisions like B, C, etc. SSCs are opted the normal provisions. Company also opted the what? Normal provision. First what they asked, AO computed interest, right? So AO will compute the when ma? Late filing also, non-filing also. AO will compute when interest first non-filing directly he will compute. Here these two things finally they will compute. That's why how many columns I will open ma? 3. Ma, how many columns ma? 3. Why? In case of A, it is what? Late filing. In case of A limited also what ma? Late filing. Here it is what? Non-filing. Sir, non-filing directly who will compute? AO. But these two, first who will compute? SSC, then after AO. Ma, interest computation always will start with the, I am taking the difficult questions. This much of difficulty you will not get in exam. If you solve this easily, you can understood every question also. Okay, listen. What is that interest computation format? Amount, rate of interest, period. Amount means who are computing now ma? AO. Please tell me, at the time of AO computation, amount means what ma? Self assessed tax or AO determined tax? AO determined tax. First I will take the AO determined income, on that I will calculate the tax. What is that? 6 lakh 10,000, 5 lakh 50,000, 12 lakh. Please tell me what I taken here? 6 lakh 10,000, 5 lakh 50,000, 12 lakh. So whose determined income I taken ma? AO determined income I taken. Now on that we have to calculate the tax. We calculated the tax also. Ma, here clearly they given individuals are following the what ma? Normal rates. Company also following the normal rates. Tax you can compute. Okay, I don't want to calculate now. Easily you can calculate the here slab rates. Company following the flat rate. So this is an assessed tax ma. From that assessed tax I can reduce the credits. What are the credits I can reduce? They given the TDS, TCS and advance tax. These are all the credits we can reduce it from the assessed tax. After removing the credits, you will get that amount as an what ma? Shortfall. Now I will tell you one important note point. Whenever you are going to calculate the interest, on which amount we are calculating the interest, that amount always should be rounded off to lowest multiples of 100, not nearest, lowest. Can you tell me what is the lowest ma? 800. What is that correct figure? Only this one. No need to round it off in the last two cases. The first case we have to round it off to lowest multiples of 100. Ma, is there any difficulty for you as of now? AO is calculating, AO determined income, AO determined tax, credits we remove. Rate of interest, you know already very well, 1% per month or part of the month. Now period, period, again I am saying, yes, late filing related period. What is a late filing ma period? Whether SSC computation also, AO computation also, the period will be same in case of whom late, in case of what ma late filing. So date after the due date to date of filing of return. Ma please look at the screen ra. Date after the due date to date of filing the return. Now August, September, October, November, December. Part of the month also full month. How many months ra? 5 months. Yes, here how many months ra? 5 months. Next case also what ma? Late filing. Date after the due date is what ra? November. November, December, 2 months only. Yes, part of the month also considered as an what ma? Full month. Last one is what ma? Non-filing. In case of non-filing, interest will start from the date after the due date till the assessment completion, right? Okay, date after the due date means what? August. Yes, till the February, date of completion of assessment. August, September, October, November, December, January, February. February means nothing but part of the month also full month. How many months? 7 months. Now, all these three variables, you know, please multiply these three variables. Yes, you will get the interest under section 234A computed by whom? AO. Done all of you. Next one ma. Interest under section, they are asking computation by whom? SSC. Now tell me, SSC can compute the interest only in case of what? Late filing. Who will compute interest in case of non-filing directly? AO. SSC, now when he will compute in these two cases only SSC will compute. This is a directly will compute by the AO. So that's why how many columns we can open in this case? 2. What are the 2? A limited. Why? These are the late filing cases. These are the what ma? Late filing cases. Now again I am asking one more question all of you. Here, what are the variables we required for computing interest ma? Amount, rate of interest as well as what? Period. Here, who is calculating interest? SSC. SSC declared a return of income. Please take it out. How much income he declared in the return? 5,80,000. 5 lakh. On that, please calculate tax. 5,80,000 and 5 lakh. Please calculate tax. From that, please remove the credits. Then you will get the shortfall. Whatever the shortfall we got, that should be rounded off to lowest multiples of what ma? 100. Rate of interest is what ma? Same. And one more thing, period. Late filing means already I told late filing, whether SSC computed also, AO computed also, same period, right? Yes, already we computed the period. How many months you got earlier? 5 months and 2 months. That same time period I will take and I will calculate the interest. How much you got? 480, 23. Remember, already SSC paid how much ma? 480. Already SSC paid how much ma? 2320. At the time of final interest computation, yes ma, AO computed how much ma? 790. 790 need to pay No. How much already we paid 480. Here ma, 2320. Balance only they will ask. This one finally they will ask. Why? Directly who computed in the case of non-filing? AO. So that's why full amount they will ask. Just I am saying, whatever the interest you paid at the time of your return filing, that interest you can get it as an what ma? Reduction while they are collecting the final interest liability. So that is only we taken here as an example. Already we paid how much ma? 5,000. They are asking again, or they are reducing it from the final interest? They are reducing it from the final interest balance only they are asking. In that same way, here, whatever that interest you paid at the time of self-assessment, you can reduce it from the final interest liability under section 234A. Understood all of you? Yes. Now, now we can take the 234B and 234C after break. Okay. I need 20 minutes break. Okay. Yes, we can take up to 11:20. Then we can meet and we can discuss. But further discussions we can complete in an easy way. The reason 234A base is created, so automatically you can understood B and C easily. Okay. We can discuss question and answers also related to it. Yes. Now we can start with the water 234B. Shall we? Yes, listen, bro. 234B interest is required to be computed for two consequences. One is what, non-payment of advance tax. Second one is what, ma? Short payment of advance tax. First one is what, non-payment of advance tax. Second one is an short payment of advance tax. I will tell you what do you mean by the short payment also in detailed way. But before that, so we have to calculate interest by using these three variables only, right? What are the three variables, ma? Amount into rate of interest into period. Okay. For what consequences we are calculating interest, ma? Non-payment. Means during the previous year, totally we verified we are not at all paid even single rupee of advance tax also. That is what, non-payment. Yes, during the previous year, we are not at all paid even single rupee also. That is called what, ma? Non-payment. Second one, what do you mean by the short payment? Very important, listen carefully. Advance tax paid, okay, some amount we paid. If that is less than 90% of what, ma? Assessed tax. When we paid this advance tax, ma, in a previous year, okay, whatever you paid in a previous year based on estimations, if that is less than 90% of what, assessed tax. Now you haven't done. Sir, why we are comparing with the 90%? How we can estimate exactly with the assessed tax? This assessed tax we calculated in which year? Assessment year. We paid this in a previous year. How estimations will exactly match with the actuals? That's why no need to match actually exactly. If you match it exactly with the what, ma? 90% also okay. Example, we paid how much, ma? 85,000. That is less than the 90% of FSS tax, what, 90,000. Sir, their expectation is 90,000. You have to clear in the previous year in the form of advance tax. Totally, all installments together. Okay, can you tell me up to what date we can pay the advance tax? During the previous year, from the first day of the previous year to last day of the previous year, whatever you paid, that is only we can call it as advance tax. Remember, so even though last due date is for payment of advance tax is what, ma? 15th March. But no need to check up to 15th March. Even you paid any amount in the previous year as an advance tax, we can consider for that purpose of what, 234B. For what purpose we can consider that, 234B. That means total previous year, whatever you paid, if that amount is less than 90% of assessed tax, that is only we can termed as what, short payment. That is only we can term it as what, short payment. Now I will tell you example. Ma, by using question number 2. By using what, ma? Question number 2. I will explain the concept. Okay. By using what, ma? Question number 2. First I will read the question number 2. Yes, listen. A firm, partnership firm given here, not an individual or company, partnership firm. They filed return of income on which date? 30th June. Okay, happy. They filed the return of income on 30th June. What is the return of income? They shown in the return of income 1 lakh. But in that return, they are showing other particular also. What are the other particulars? Advance tax. So now, how much advance tax paid during the previous year? How much, ma? 20,000. How much TDS? Now, In this case, they are asking interest under which section ma? 234B. Now 234B is applied when short payment or non-payment. Can you tell me it is non-payment? No, because somehow we paid 20,000 in a previous year. So that's why we have to check whether it is a short payment or not. You have to prove in an exam also, sir, this advanced tax is short paid. So that's why we are calculating interest. You have to show. Now, assessing officer passed the assessment order by enhancing how much income? 5,000. That means you declared in your return 1 lakh. They are increasing in that assessment 5,000. What is that? Assessed income determined by the AO 1 lakh 5,000. AO determined income. It is an SSC declared income in the return of income is how much ma? 1 lakh. Ma, understood all of you? Now they are asking interest. Okay, further we can calculate. First understood. If they are given the question, if it is, sir, advance tax paid is 0 given, it is called as what ma? Non-payment. Here they paid. Whether it is short paid or not, we have to check. If advance tax paid is less than 90% of what ma? Assessed tax, that is short payment. Next we have to calculate interest. Further we can take. Now we'll discuss the remaining provision. Okay, now here also ma, whether it is non-payment also, listen carefully, this minute is very important. Whether it is non-payment, whether it is short payment, whether it is what ma? Non-payment, whether it is short payment, who required to calculate both? First, SSC required to compute the interest at the time of filing the return of income. That interest will recompute by the whom? AO. In case of short payment also, first we will calculate, then who will calculate? AO. Ma, first what we calculated, we got 2,300. AO calculation, how much he got? 2,900. Now AO will ask entire amount or after set of balance amount? After set of balance amount. In 234B, non-payment also both will calculate, short payment also both will calculate. Understood? Now, on which amount we have to calculate interest, sir? Ma, remember, on which amount we have to calculate interest? Ma, listen carefully. Yes, assessed tax minus. Yes, ma. Assessed tax means at the time of SSC computation, it is what? Self-assessed tax. At the time of AO computation, AO determined tax. Here two persons required to compute. First SSC, AO. SSC computation time, it is a self-assessed tax. AO computation time, AO determined tax. But these things will reduce by the, yes, why we are reducing with the TDS and TCS credit? Because already we paid. Again we don't want to pay it as an again in the form of what ma? Advance tax. Next, here important point, advance tax. If it is non-payment, you have to take it as what? 0. Because we are not paid any advance tax. If it is short payment case, how much you paid, please reduce it. How much you paid, please reduce it. Sir, in case of non-payment of advance tax, at the time of computing interest in case of non-payment, please reduce how much? 0, because you are not paid anything. If it is short paid, how much you paid, please reduce that. Relief under section 89(1), DTAA relief, MAT credit, all the things reduce, then you will get shortfall. Interest rate also same or different? Same. 1% per month or part of the month. Period ma. Here, remember, period very important, listen. At the time of SSC computation, first day of assessment year, why? You can pay the advance tax till the last day of the previous year. Next day after that previous year is what? First day of an assessment year. To the date of completion of assessment. What is that? Date of completion of assessment. Here, assessment completion date means at the time of SSC computation, return filing date is called as what? Self-assessment completion. At the time of AO computation, AO assessment completion time we have to take. Understood? Here both the times we have to compute. Yes, ma. When computing by the SSC, first day of that assessment year 2, date of completion of self-assessment. Yeah, the time of computation done by the AO, first day of that assessment year 2, assessment completion date by the AO. Now, I will discuss this question, ma. Yes, always remember, this question is covering everything. Now, I will solve on paper. Now, here, first I have to check whether it is an short payment or not. Applicability of, what is that, ma? Applicability of 234B section. First I need to check whether section 234B is applicable or not. Now, but again I want to analyze this. They are given the SSC details, assessing officer details. They are asking interest, means they are asking whose interest? Final interest they are asking. Ma, in this question, assessment completion details given or not? Yes. And they are asking interest. Now, in this question, who are calculating the interest? Interest under section 234B by whom? AO. It is called as what? Final interest. Ma, in some questions they will not give the assessment completion details. On that time who will calculate interest? SSC. But in this question, assessment details given, that means whose interest we have to compute? AO. Now check. Short payment or non-payment? Short payment is there or not? I have to check. Yes, advance tax paid is less than 90% of what? Assessed tax. What is that, ma? Assessed tax. Shall we do, ma? What is that advance tax you paid, ma? 20,000. What you paid, 20,000. That is 90% of the, tell me here, who are computing the interest, ma? AO. So that's why AO determined income related tax we have to take. Understood? Here who is calculating the interest? AO. AO income related tax we can calculate. Can you tell me what is that AO income? 1,05,000. What is the rate of interest for the partnership firm? 30%. Plus 4% is an health and education cess. Again I will tell you, ma, remember while checking that many students are doing this mistake. Minus all credits we have to reduce except advance tax. Why? We are comparing this with the advance tax only. You can reduce the minus TDS minus other credits if anything is there. Other credits means what? Relief under section 89(1), DTA relief minus MAD and AMT. But don't reduce advance tax. Why? We are comparing with the advance tax only. How you can reduce advance tax? Understood? Please simplify, ma. Yes, 20,000 minus 90% of, ma, please simplify only this portion and tell me, ma, only this portion 1,05,000 into 30% plus 4%. Sorry, 32,007 minus TDS given in the question. I think please check and tell me. 1,000, right? Other credits are there or not there? Not there. Please simplify the equation. 20,000 ESMA less than 90% of the 31,760. Tell me 90% of this, ma? 28,058. Remember, but we paid less or more? Less. Their expectation is this, but you paid less or not? Yes. That means advance tax paid is less than 90% of what? Assessed tax 90%. So that's why 234B section will apply. Ma, which section will apply here? Advance tax paid is less than 90% of assessed tax. So that's why 234B apply here. Yes. Now, yes, if applicable, we have to take the amount. What is that amount? Give the heading 234B, computation of interest. Amount means, can you tell me what? Assessed income. What is that assessed income? AO determined income 1,05,000. Assessed tax on that. What is that assessed tax? 1,05,000 into 30% plus 4%. How much? 32,000. So, yes ma, now we are in this part. We calculated the AO determined tax, TDS, advance tax. If anything is paid, please reduce, otherwise 0. But here somewhat we paid, how much? 20,000. All other credits also remove. You will get the shortfall minus TDS minus advance tax. Tell me, TDS how much? 1,000. Advance tax 20,000. Tell me shortfall. Ma? Sorry? 11,000. On this amount only we have to calculate interest, right? That amount of interest we have to calculate on this amount. So that's why rounded off to lowest multiples of 100. Next, P variable, rate of interest 1% per month, part of the month. C, period. Tell me ma, who is calculating the interest? AO. First day of the assessment year 2. Sorry, 20. 6 only. Yes. To that assessment completion. Can you tell me assessment completed on which date? 29th March 2027. 29 March 2027. How many months? 12 months. So now interest under section 234B is how much? Ma? 1404. Understood? Ma, all of you. So simple. Here non-payment also, short payment also, who will compute? Both. First SSC, then after AO. Clear? But what is that important point? Non-payment okay, short payment is there. We have to prove that is shortly paid. At the time of checking the short paid, assessed tax means all credits except advance tax you have to remove. Now, okay. This is our December question paper. Ma, please take the MNO LLP. Yes, they given 234B MCQ. If you solve automatically, you will get more knowledge about the 234B also. Now, please read the question. Ma, read. MNO LLP Mumbai. MNO LLP Mumbai furnished its return of income for the assessment year, last assessment year. Forget about the dates and all. Okay. Specified due date. Ma, before the due date, if they file the return of income, 234A will not apply. How much return of income they declared the income in that return of income? 1,20,000. LLP tax rate 30%. Remember. Assessment completed also done. The total income enhanced by the, yes, how much enhanced? Nearly 45,000 enhanced, totally 1,65,000. No advance tax paid and no TDS credit also available. Ma, 234B, here for what purpose we are calculating? Ma, non-payment case, because clearly in this question there is no advance tax paid in that year. So that's why it is what? Non-payment. Are many are asking this doubt. Sir, here who will calculate the interest? Ma, assessing officer, because assessment completion details given, right? Ma, non-payment interest under section 234B will compute by whom? Ma, AO. So tell me amount into rate of interest into what is that? Period. Ma, tell me one by one. Amount means nothing but what? 1 lakh 65,000. 1,65,000 into 30% plus 4%. Tell me how much you will get, Ra? 51,480. This should be rounded off to 51,400. 1% per month, part of the month. Period, ma. First day of the assessment year 2. Yes, ma. First day of the assessment year 2. That is 25. Last year, forget about it. Yes, to the 10th February 2026. How many months, Ra? 11, 11 months. Please multiply these three things. 51,400 into 1 month into 11 months. Sorry, 1% into 11 months. How much you will get, Ra? Ma? 5654. This is an answer you will get. No problem, Ra. Approximately. Okay. Understood, all of you. Sir, if you solve the workbook questions, Ra, MCQ is easy or difficult? Here, same question. But in a workbook, we have an extra point. What is that, Ra? Short payment. But here, directly they given it as a non-payment. And sir, how to know about whether it is computed by the AO or SC? Simply, assessment completion details given means final interest they will ask. Understood, all of you online also? Yes. Now, so 234B related, that's okay. But one comprehensive question we can do at the end. In that again, I will solve the one more 234B question, Ra. Okay. Before that, it is enough. Shall we move on toward the 234C, Ra? After 234C, I will solve one comprehensive question on ABC total. Okay. Now we'll start the 234C, Ra. What is that, ma? 234C. Now, 234B we calculated on total of the previous year, whether we are not paid or short paid. Now, 234C always talking about the what, ma? Installment wise. If any installment is deferred, yes, now we have to calculate the what, Ra? Interest. Yes, ma. We have to calculate what, Ra? Interest. Listen carefully. Here, there is no recomputation, ma. Here, this interest only will compute by the whom, ma? SSC. So, in all the sections, we discussed both will compute, right? In case of 234A, non-filing case, who will compute directly? AO. Late filing, both will compute. 234B, non-payment both will compute. Short payment also both will compute. But 234C, who will compute, Ra? Ma? SSC only will compute. Now take, Ra. Whatever that SSC filed a return of income, in that what is the return he declared, please take that. On that return of income, please calculate the what, Ra? Tax. So in our language, just we called it as a returned tax. Minus what, Ra? TDS, minus relief, minus DTAA, minus what, Ra? AMT credit. Don't reduce the advance tax. Don't reduce the advance tax. Sir, we paid some amount of advance tax in the previous year, sir. No, okay, you paid, I will accept, but don't reduce it. I will tell you why we are not going to reduce also. Ma, in 234B computation also, we are comparing with the advance tax. That's why we are not reducing, right? Okay, here also, while checking only, we don't want to reduce. But after calculating shortfall, we can reduce. While calculating the shortfall, you can reduce. But while checking only, please don't reduce advance tax. Here also, in 234C also, return tax you can calculate. All credits you can reduce except what, advance tax. I will tell you the reason why we are not reducing also now. Ma, this is whose expectation, Ra? Department expectation. This is on whose expectation? But this computation entirely done in which year? Assessment year only. Because return of income can be done in which year? Assessment year. In that assessment year, their expectation, you have to clear this amount as an advance tax. That's why we are not reducing the advance tax. In assessment year, just SSC only computed the return of income related tax. From all the tax credits you can reduce except advance tax. Why we are not reducing advance tax? This is only government expectation in the form of advance tax. But we paid what? Based on estimations in a previous year, we paid some X amount in that all the installments. Okay, in which year we paid these things? In a previous year we paid. First installment, some second installment, third, like you paid. But now, whatever you paid based on what? Estimations. Whatever you paid based on what? Estimations. Now we are comparing with the actuals. We computed what? Above in the assessment year. So this is only they are asking as an advance tax. So that's why we are not reducing the advance tax whatever you paid. Sir, in assessment year, SSC computed this amount as an tax liability after removing all the credits. This is an output he got, except advance tax, all credits he reduced. In assessment year, yes, government is actually expecting this, but already you paid in the previous year based on the section 209 computation, you paid this. 209 morning we discussed. Based on that you paid this, but now we are comparing with the tell me what is that expectation? 15% of return tax above whatever you computed. On this 15% they are expecting. Second 45%, 75, 100. But we paid some amount in the which year? Previous year. Now remember, if you are paying less than this, if you paid what? Less than this. Now, can you tell me that amount is called as what? Shortfall. They are expecting this amount, but you paid only this. A minus B is called as what? Shortfall. If shortfall is there, first installment, second installment, third installment, every time 1% interest rate for how many months? 3 months. Because if you deferred here, you can pay the next in that 3 months, right? So that's why 1% for fixed duration of how many months? 3 months. But here clearly they are saying last installment only how many months? 1 month. Because if you missed here, at any cost you have to close in the previous year only. Part of the month is considered as an what? Full month. Understood? First 3 installments related 1% for 3 months. Last installment 1% per 1 month. So finally if you add it, you will get the 234C interest. How this is fair? Based on estimations I paid. Now you are comparing with the actuals with the return of income. How it is fair? That's why estimations will difficult in the first 2 quarters, right? Yes, that's why. Yes, if you paid at least 12% also, okay. No need to pay 15%. If our payment of the advance tax done in a previous year, if it is matched with the 12% also, okay. Yes, second time they are saying second installment, no need to match with the 45, at least please match with the what? 36. Last 2 installments they are not giving any relaxation. Can you tell me this relaxation is applicable only for which interest computation? 234C computation. First installment, no need to pay how much? 15, at least 12 also okay. No need to pay 45, at least if you paid how much? 36 also okay. Understood all of you? Now, so remember, here you have to take the returned tax and the returned income details, all the credits except advance tax, because we are comparing this amount only with advance tax. How you can reduce advance tax? Because we are comparing the whatever output we got with the already paid advance tax. That's why don't reduce the advance tax here. In 234B, while checking the short payment also, we are doing the same thing only. Now, very important note point now I will discuss. Then after we'll discuss the questions related to 234C. Okay. Tell me, Ra, what is the previous year starting day? 1/4/2025. What is that ending day? 31st March 2026. Okay. In this, what are the advance tax installments dates? 15th 6, 15th 9, 15th 12, 15th March. How much we have to clear? 15, 45, 75, 100. Here two relaxations are there. Instead of 15, 12 also okay. Instead of 45, 36% is also okay. Listen. Ma, these four incomes are highly unpredictable. When we can erase the capital gain also, when we can get the business income for the first time. Sir, if I started the business for first time, how much income I will earn also, I don't know. Next, casual income, dividend income including deemed dividend. These are unpredictable and we don't know when we can get this income also. Then how can I estimate first day of the previous year? Remaining you can estimate. These four incomes you can't estimate. Even estimated also underestimation only you can do. So that's why department is saying that if you are failure to estimate or I estimated but underestimation is done. Yes, then in these cases no need to calculate interest under which section ma? 234C. Example, actually I got the capital gain in which month? December 1st, that means in December month I got capital gain. But on that first day of the previous year, I am unable to estimate the capital gain income. So that's why capital gain related, I am not at all paying any advance tax in the first two installments. No problem. Why? Clearly they are only saying that if you are failure to estimate also, underestimate also, 234C will apply or not apply? Not apply. So that's why in these two installment, no need to pay interest under section 234C. But actually you got the capital gain on which month? December. Capital gain on which month? December. Tell me, after that you have to pay. Here you have to pay 75. Here the balance 25. Totally you have to clear 100% after erasing it. First, okay, unpredictable. But you got this income, right? Then next two installment you have to consider it. Next two installment you have to consider it. Now, workbook you can open. Workbook you can open. This is a basic question. You can do this question. Question number 4, section 234C. You can do this question. I think in one question. Wait. SSC followed the which rates of company, no problem. This is also basic question related to section 234C. You can do it. Question number what ma? 5 also. Question number 4, question number 5, you can do basic questions on 234C, but examination important. Now I will discuss the question number 6. In this, okay, by mistakenly we taken the old 115 BSc rates. I didn't change the solution. Now we can change the solution and we can solve this. Shall we, ma? Yes, question number 6. Sir, why you taken this question, sir? I will tell you. This is somewhat important. Okay. And in this some twists are there. The remaining questions are basic questions. Now I will solve this section 234C questions in and out. Okay. On paper, we'll try to compute it. Okay. What is the age of the SSC ma? 45. What is the business income she having? 14 lakh. Yes, vacant land she sold on February 2026. Long-term capital gain taxable with this rate. How much? 6 lakh is there. TDS credit also there. And advance tax payment details also given. Listen the question ma, first of all. How many income she have? 2. Business income, capital gain income. Business income, capital gain income she have. Okay. And TDS credit also given. Ra. How much advance tax she paid? Ma, whether it is paid before the due date. Yes ma, 15th 6th before only paid. 15th 9 ra, whether we paid or not paid. Here ra, 15th 12 we paid, yes. Here ra, 15th March, deferment of advance tax installments done or not? Yes. They are asking interest under section 234C. Interest under which section ma? 234C. Now I will calculate on paper. Please try to give me one calculator also. Ra. I don't want to depend upon your computations. Tell me ma. So now here we have to calculate interest under which section ma? 234C. First we have to calculate the tax liability. Yes, on which income ma? Returned income. You can know tax liability on returned income. Why? Already you know in 234C returned income we have to take. On that returned income we have to calculate what ma? Tax. Can you tell me? We have to take the what ma? Returned income. On that returned income we have to calculate what ma? Tax. But here particulars if you are taken, two types of incomes are there. One is business income. Yes ma. Another one is what ra? Capital gain income. That is also long-term capital gain. Can you tell me the long-term capital gain arises on 15th February 2026. Ma, understood ra? What is that? Income, business income. Ma, business income how much ma? 14 lakh. What is that? Capital gain income? 6 lakh. Capital gain income is how much ma? 6 lakh. Now tax rates what we have to apply? Yes, under section 115 BAC we have to take, because in this question clearly they are giving SSC opted the 115 BAC. Here what is that ma? 12.5. What we have to take ra? 12.5. Now we can compute the tax liability. Income tax we can compute ra. Ma, first 4 lakh is what ra? Exempt. Next 4 lakh is what ra? 5%. Next 4 lakh is what ra? 10%. Next 2 lakh is how much ma? 15%. Plus 4% health and education cess. Ma, understood? 0 to 4 basically exempt. Next up to 8 lakh, up to 12 lakh and up to 14 lakh plus 4%. How much it will be? 4 lakh into 5% M plus 4 lakh into 4 lakh into what ra? 10%. M plus 2 lakh into ma 15% M plus MRC 90,000 you will get, right? 90,000 plus what ra? 4%, 93,600. Here ma 6 lakh into yes 12.5%. How much? 75,000 you got. Ma, understood? First of all, forget about this 4% ra. Safe side we can calculate. Ma, without that how much you will get ra? Okay. 93,600. 93,600 only, right? Here also Please calculate including sesma 6 lakh into 12.5% plus 4%, 78,000. Ma, TDS credit, all the credits you can reduce except what advanced. So these are all are not there, only TDS credit is there. But now our discussion is to reduce from the which one? Remember, TDS will be reduced from the ESMA, how much ma? 30,000, reduced from the business only, because ma long term capital gain arises on this date. This is from the beginning of the year we have. Generally, if you are reducing from this only, SSE will get the benefit, because ma this is he has to pay from the first installment onwards. Here he has to pay the February month next one only one installment. When if he reduces the TDS from this, then only he will get relaxation. So that's why we can reduce it. Finally, how much? 93,000 minus 90. Okay, 63,600. This is an how much ma? 78,000. Ma, but 78,000 tax we have to pay only after this date. Only after this date. How much ma? Totally, please tell me for your understanding, just 63,600 plus 78,000. How much ma? 1,41,600. Ma, understood? Now tell me, this is a only government is expecting as an advance tax, right? But already we paid some amounts in that previous year. You can check in that question. Ma, understood? Tell me, we are doing the question as per this format or newly? As per this format only we are doing. Ma, understood? Sir, why we are reducing the TDS from the business related tax? Business related tax we have to pay in that 4 installment. If TDS reduced from that only, our advance tax also will reduce. It is a beneficial thing. Okay, now we can calculate the interest under section 234C. One format I will tell you. Yes ma. First we can open the installment column. What is that ma? Installment. Now amount due. Can you tell me amount due? This is we calculated in an assessment year based on actuals. Amount already paid. This is already we paid based on what ma? Estimations in which year? Previous year. It is A and it is B. A minus B is called as what? Shortfall. When we can get the shortfall? If A is more than what? B. Next we can calculate interest in this column. Shall we do one by one installments? Yes ma, listen carefully. These questions you can get in an exam directly. I am doing the difficult question. Easily you can do the 4th and 5th question. Now we are discussing 6th one. Tell me, first installment is what? 15th June of an previous year. How much amount is due ma? Yes, remember we don't know on that time 78,000. We know only on that time how much ma? We know only on that time how much ma? 63,600 only we know. That's why please take the 63,600 into 15%. How much ma? Next, wait. 63,600 into 15%. 9540. Please listen. How much you paid on or before that date? 10,000. So we paid 10,000 on or before that date. Remember, whether we paid more or less, more. But no need to compare with this, but you can compare with the at least what 12% also, just to show the computation. We know already more amount is paid, but please compute 63,600 into 12%. How much ma? 7632. Now shortfall is there or not? Not there. Interest also no need to compute. They are expecting this, but we paid how much, ma? 10,000. Next installment, 15th 9 of an previous year. Yes, 63,600. Yes, 45% we have to clear. Less 63,600 into 45%. How much, ma? 28,620. Ma, remember, before this date, how much you paid, ra? Before this date, how much you paid, ra? 10,000 only. 15th 9 before, you paid only 10,000. Remember, deferment done, ra? You have to pay. Before 15th 9, you paid only how much, ma? 10,000. Yes, now how much I have to take, ra? Ma? 10,000. Understood? Now, no need to pay entire. Relaxation is there, right? Please calculate 36%. Remember, ma, 63,600 into 36%. How much, ma? 28,896, right? 22,896, right? Akka, remember, short payment or fully paid, ra? Short payment. Sir, at least you have to pay this one, ra? But you paid only how much, ma? 10,000. Shortfall is there or not? Deciding, yes, compare these two. For decide the shortfall is there or not, please compare these two. For knowing the shortfall amount, difference between these two only shortfall amount. Okay, for deciding only you have to check. Once if it is short paid, difference between these two only called as what, ma? Short payment. Can you tell me how much? 28,620, sorry. 28,620 minus 10,000. How much, ma? 18,000 Anna. 6. Interest we should calculate on the lowest multiples of 100. 18,600 into 1% for how many months, ra? 3 months. Tell me. 18,600 into 1 into 3, 550. Understood, ra? Next installment, 15th December of the previous year. What is that? 15th December of the previous year. After that also, we know only this one. How much we have to pay? 75%. 63,600 into 75%. How much? 47,700. Relaxation is not there, but before 15th December, how much we paid, ra? Nearly 1 lakh we paid. Ma, before 15th December, how much we paid, ra? 1 lakh we paid. So now, how much actually paid, ra? 1 lakh. Tell me, short payment is there or not? No. Interest? No. Next, ma, 15th March of the previous year. Yes, you have to clear. Listen, you have to clear both the things now. Why? It is known in the December. Means in February you have to pay how much? 1,41,600 you have to pay. But 1,41,600. But up to this date, how much you paid? 1 lakh only. 1 lakh only. Yes, how much you paid? 1 lakh. Yes, please. How much you paid, ma? 1 lakh. Difference between these two, yes, ma? 41,600. 41,600 into 1% into 3 months. How much, ma? Ma? Sorry, ra. మధ్యాహ్నం లంచ్ గురించి ఆలోచిస్తున్నా. 41,600 into 1 into 1%. 416. So please tell me interest under section 234 CMA 416 plus 558 974. Done. 8 marks or 7 marks. Easy or difficult? Easy. But deferments easily you can calculate if you have a knowledge about this. Understood? Yes, ma. But now I will show you one more question in your workbook. Ma, question number 9. Yes, ma. Question number 9 and question number 10 and one and the same. Just they given the formatting different, numbers also different, same. Here they given the table, here they given everything in the columns. All the things they given in a lines here, but they given in a tables, numbers change. But in these questions, they are asking the, tell me, they are asking the all the sections. A, B, C. Very easy. If they are given combined question, solving is very easy. They will give less computation scope. If they are given only one section, we have to compute huge. In that 9th question also they are asking the what ma? 234 A, B, C. Very easy question in our materials. Yes, you can check it out one by one. Ma, 234B computation take care properly. Why? Here non-payment of advance tax or short payment may be there. Short payment. Why? You paid some amount of advance taxes. So that's why whether it is short paid or not, you have to check properly. How to check? Advance tax paid less than 90% of SSA tax. SSA tax minus all credits except advance tax. While calculating 234C returned income related returned tax also, you can reduce all credits except what advance tax. That points if you remember, then this chapter is nothing. Now I will spare this time also for the next provisions. Yes, I already given clarity. First I will explain these three. Then after I will start the two more interest provisions. What are the two more interest provisions? 234D, 234D, next 244A. These two also will discuss, and this is an only for MCQ. This is an practical questions also we can get. Shall we discuss these two questions, two section numbers? What are the two? 234D, 244A. Please take the 234D in your material. Yes, ma. First we'll take this example. Then after we can discuss what is the 234D also. Ma, SSC filed return of income under due date only. Exactly on due date, SSC filed the return of income. He got the intimation, I think you know, processing of a return. Intimation he got, and he taken refund on this date. How much? 2,50,000. So he isn't very happy. First preliminary processing done. On that preliminary processing itself, he got a refund. But after few days, scrutiny assessment done. They are deciding the your refund is how much? 1,26,000 only. Yes, earlier you got an 2,50,000 refund, but after assessment, the assessing officer decided your refund is only how much? 1,26,000 on the date 12/12/2027. Now, can you tell me how much excess refund enjoyed by the SSC as of now? 1,24,000. Eligible refund is 1,26,000 only. How much excess he enjoyed? 1,24,000. Now, definitely, SSE required to pay the excess refund to whom? Department, along with the interest under section 234D. Now tell me, what is a 234D? Excess refund if anything is granted on that. Who required to pay the interest to whom? SSE required to pay the interest to the department. Understood? Whenever I am saying 234D, you have to remember earlier taken excess refund. Now I have to give the excess refund to the department along with the interest. Now who are paying interest to whom? SSE paying the interest to department. Now interest computation means always three variables. What are the three variables? Amount, rate of interest, period. On which amount here we have to calculate the interest? Please tell me. Excess amount of refund, how much? 1,24,000. 1,24,000. Rate of interest, yes, we are not calculating 1% per month or part of the month. Here we are calculating only 0.5. Why? It's your mistake you given. Okay, I will give it to you, but I will not pay 1%. I will pay 0.5. My refund related interest always 0.5 rate of interest. Okay, this is what 50% or 0.5%? Half percentage they given in an exam. What is the percentage? 50% or this is only what 0.5%. 0.5%. Half percentage if they are given, that is not a 50%. 1/2 means what? 0.5%. 0.5 okay, Nagaland below. Okay, next period. Remember, when you got the interest, excess refund on this day, till this day. That means whenever you are getting the refund till the assessment completion, yes, when you got the refund on this date, when they clearly given eligible refund, assessment completion, in between these two dates, we are going to calculate the interest. Part of the month also considered as what? Part of the month also considered as what? Full month. It is nothing but excess refund if anything is there. SSE will pay the excess refund along with the interest under section 234D. Now we'll discuss the very important provision in my view for exam purpose 244A. And one question also they given in the 2019 MQP, that question also we can discuss. Anna, shall we? Here SSC can get the refund, right? Salaried SCs can get the refund. On that refund, yes, department will give the interest. Department will give the what? Interest. Who is paying the interest here? Department is paying the interest on refund to the SSC. Refund they will give. Along with the interest on refund also they will give. Clear? Now, but reverse provision to 234D, right? In 234D, who is paying interest to whom? SSC paying interest to. Here, department is paying to. Always, interest computation will start with the amount. On which amount we have to calculate interest. Yes, ma. Next one, ma. Amount means what? Amount of refund. An amount of refund only we have to calculate interest. Rate of interest, ma. That is also easily refund related interest rate always what? 0.5% or per month or part of the month. 0.5% per month or part of the month. Next period. This is only important in this 244. Hmm? Listen, 244A interest computation, amount also very easy, rate of interest also easy, period we have to take properly. Now, first you have to question yourself whether we are getting the refund from the TDS, TCS or advance tax or not. Must salaried SCs are getting the refund out of what? TDS amount only. So first of all, how we are getting the refund? Yes, sir. Suppose our tax payable is 1,20,000. In the previous year, in my hands, how much TDS deducted? 1,35,000. In assessment year, my tax is 1,20,000. But already how much TDS deducted in my hands? 1,35,000. Now this amount you will get it as what? Refund. Next, some cases SSC paid the excess tax as an self-assessed tax. Yes, ma, self-assessed tax. Now tax payable in the assessment year 15 lakh, but we paid 17 lakh. Now how much refund you will get? 2 lakh. But now you are getting the refund from what? Self-assessment tax. You have to raise a question, how we are getting the refund? From the self-assessed tax or from the TDS or TCS or advance tax? Now, first we'll discuss, if you are saying, sir, our SSC is getting the refund from the TDS, TCS or advance tax. Suppose if he is a salaried employee, how he will get the refund? TDS, TCS or advance tax. Now, again please raise a question, whether that fellow filed the return of income within the due date or not filed within the due date. Always tax professionals will say, please file the return of income on or before the due date, you will get many benefits, right? One of the benefit is, exactly, your due date is 31st/7. You filed on 25th/7 of assessment year, you filed return. Can you tell me within the due date or after? Within. What is the due date? 139 subsection 1 due date. Yes, 31st/7 of an assessment year. We filed within or after? Within. That's why you will get the interest. Even though you file the return on this date, but you will get interest from which date? 1/4. First day of an assessment year onwards to the grant of refund, you will get the what? Interest. First day of the assessment year till that what? Grant of refund, you will get the grant of refund is different, receipt is different. Here we have to take from their side when they given the grant. Grant means what? They granted the refund. Okay, example, today if they are given the grant of the refund, tomorrow or day after tomorrow I can receive through email also, anything also. Okay, can you tell me date of grant of refund? Please take, not date of receipt of refund. Up to the grant date only they will pay interest, they will not pay beyond that. Now, if you are filed the return of income on the 15th 9 of an assessment year, within or after? After the due date if you file, yes, you will get the refund related interest from the date of filing. Can you tell me what is the date of filing? 15th 9 of what? Assessment year to the date of grant of what? Refund. So that's why always please file the return before the due date. If you file the before the due date, you will get an interest computation starting from the first day of the assessment year. Or if you understood, we are starting the thinking related to period, whether we are getting the refund from the TDS, TCS, advance tax or self-assessed. Okay, we decided we got refund from the TDS, TCS or advance tax. Next question, whether you file the return of income before the due date or after the due date. Okay, period. Okay. Next, we got a refund from the self-assessment tax. Now, period will start from the, yes, period will end with the, what dates I will take here. My end date is same. Please refer date of grant of refund. My end date is always same in all the cases. But starting date, date of filing of return of income. Can you tell me when you file the return of income first? A point, when you file the return of income 31st 7, exactly on the due date we are filing the return. Or B point, please tell me what is that? Date of payment of tax. Whichever is what? Later, please take. What is a later date in above? Date of filing of return, date of payment of tax, whichever is later, 31st. Here I have taken the random examples, but in exam maybe dates will be differ. Date of payment of tax, date of filing of return, whichever is later. From this date, later date is what? 31st 7. From that date to date of grant of refund, you will get the interest. Understood a period? Now we'll take the always in my final days, that means CA final study time, always they will give the 2 dates. In between the 2 dates, if I am computing the number of months, always I will get a wrong answer. Okay. Okay, here listen. They given the starting day and ending day. In between that, how many months we can get? Please compute and tell me how many months we can get. Part of the month also considered as what? Full month. Now listen. Now compute. Many of you will get the 14 definitely. Many of you will get 14. Many of you will get 14. But like that you should not calculate. How these things will be calculated, I will tell you. 25, 9, when next month will end, first month will end, yes, that is 25, 10. Okay, you should not calculate September 5 days or 6 days, 1 month. You should not calculate. Whenever period started, from that 1 month you have to take. Okay, next month, 25th, 11, 25th, 12, 25th, 1, 25th, 2, 25th, 3, 25th, 4, 25th, 5, 25th, 6, 25th, 7, 25th, 8, 25th, 9. Yes, ma. Then after we have a part only, that is what? 6, 10. Okay, whatever the period left at the end, that is only part of the month. Okay, why you got 14? You left some days in the September and you left some days at the end. So that's why you will get what? 14 months. Remember, yes, please calculate 1 month, 2 month, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Part of the month also considered as what? Full month. Are here you will get same answer what I got. Why? Starting from the calendar month first day. So that's why you will calculate properly. Here what? Yes, September you are taken as in 1 month. October you taken as in 1 month. That's why you will get 14. Remember, whenever you are starting the period computation, from that date 1 month first take. Then at the end, whatever the period remains, that is only what? Part of the month. Here always you will get the correct only. Okay, so this point already you know. Whenever we are calculating interest on any amount, so that interest amount should be rounded off to, whenever we are calculating interest amount, on which amount we are going to calculate the interest, that amount should be rounded off to lowest multiples of what? 100. So on which amount we are calculating interest? That amount always should be rounded off to lowest multiples of what ma? 100. Now, yes, you can do the last question in this chapter. Yes, question number 11. Shall we do this question number 11 ma now? Check it out, ra. Tax audit applicable for that SSC. What is that? Due date for the submission, ra. They given due date also, but even though they are not given in this question also, we know the due date. What is that? 31st October. Written uploaded, yes, before the due date or after the due date, ra? Before the due date. Yes, ma. They are given the refund on which date, ra? October 6th. But we received on mail on what date, ra? 8th. But we taken the what date, ra? Grant of refund means what, ma? 6th October we have to take. Grant of refund means what we have to take, ra? 6th October we have to take. Clear? Now, how he is getting the refund also, that computations they are given. Income related tax, interest under section 234C they added. What you are going to pay, 3,10,430. But TDS, TCS or advance tax is there, self-assessment tax is there. Finally, you got refund of how much amount, ma? 1,68,570 you got. 1,68,570 we got. So now, please calculate the interest payable by the government under section. Yes, ma, department is paying the interest under which section, ma? 244A. That is interest on what, ma? Refund. Now here, yes, ma, at the time of calculating the interest under section 244A, ma, listen, amount into rate of interest into period we have to take. Amount and rate of interest, okay. For the purpose of knowing the period, now we have to raise a question whether we are getting the refund out of the self-assessed tax or out of the TDS or TCS. They are not giving any clarity, because in this question here we are getting the refund from the both. So that's why here we have to take the options. Yes, government also while calculating the government also while calculating the interest on the refund, they will also follow this options calculation, ra. Yes, option 1, yes, ma, what is a refund we have to get, ra? Please tell me totally. 1,68,570, right? 1,68,000 what, ra? 570. Yes, now I will take the first, we got a refund from the self-assessment tax 9,000, ra. Balance refund you can get from the what, ra? Balancing figure you can get from the TDS or TCS or advance tax. Please tell me how much? 1,68,570 minus 9,000. How much? 1,59,570. Now, second option, ra, we are getting the entire amount of refund. Yes, that is from TDS, TCS or advance tax. Ma, other than this, is there any permutation is possible, ra? Ma, other than this, is there any permutation is possible? Not possible. So that's why we'll calculate the interest under both the options. Which option is giving the higher interest, that is only department will pay to us. Which option is giving the more interest, that only. Now tell me the amount. Tell me amount. Here 9,000. Here 1,59,500 rounded off. Here 1,68,500. Rate of interest. Tell me rate of interest. 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%. Period. That is only important, Babu. Period. self-assessment tax, self-assessment tax, out of we got the refund. Self-assessment tax, can you tell me date of filing of return of income, date of payment of tax? Please check it out the question, date of filing of return of income, can you tell me September 25, date of payment of self-assessment tax, whichever is later, September 25, that is 25/9/2026. Again I am explaining, date of filing of return, date of payment of tax, whichever is later. What is the date of filing of return of income? 25th September. Here date of payment of tax, self-assessed tax, August 18, whichever is later, 25/9/2026. 25/9/2026 to date of grant of refund. What is a grant date? 6th October. That is 6/10/2026. Understood, period. Now we are getting the refund from the TDS or TCS. Can you tell me now what we have to raise a question? Before the due date file, after the due date file? Can you tell me in our question, SSC file the return of income before the due date. Before the due date if you file, your interest will start from the first day of what? Assessment year. What is that first day of assessment year? To grant of refund. Here also the same, we are also getting the refund from the TDS or TCS advance tax. The same period we can take, but fortunately or unfortunately, in between these two dates, already we calculated the months in our notes. Yes, can you tell me? Yes, in this case, how many months? 13 months. Here, how many months? 19 months. Already I calculated by using these examples are taken from that question only. 13 months and 14 months. You can check the dates also. Sorry, 27. Grant of refund in the question, you can check 27 rather. Okay. Now, please multiply these things you can multiply. Tell me how much. These things you can multiply. Tell me how much. These things also you can multiply. Tell me how much. 580 here. $15,153. Okay. You can round it off into 0.5% into 19 months. 16,008. Now in option 1, how much amount of refund you will get totally? 585 plus 15,153, 15,738. Which option, if an SSC follows, he will get more refund? Yes. So that's why, which option is better? Entire amount of refund if you taken from the TDS, TCS, that is only best. Here they written the conclusion also, option 2 will give the more amount of interest. So that's why, which is best? 16,008 is best. Understood this question? Interest on refund is very important. Don't think it as a light. Now, one more MCQ point. Look at the page number 159. Rare cases, okay, your clients can ask these things. Sir, you filed return of income for me as well as my friend, sir. Both are getting refund, sir. But I got only refund. My friend got interest on refund also. Why interest on refund not for me? Okay, both are paying the same date tax. Same date we file return also. Yes, but we both are getting refund. But interest on refund only got by my friend. Why in my case? Simple, I will tell you. Case 1, you can take the example. Refund, how much amount we placed? 1,000. that is less than the tax determined under section 143(1) 10%. What is a determined tax under 143(1)? 50,000. 10% how much ma? 5,000. We placed a refund less than the 10% of tax determined under section 143(1). Now, yes, you are placing a miscellaneous amount of refund or some amount of refund miscellaneous, that is less than how much 10% of the tax determined under section 143(1). Now you will get the refund of 1,000 anyhow, because you place a refund how much ma? 1,000, but they will not give any interest to you because you placed a negligible amount of refund. What is a negligible? If you place the refund less than 10% of tax determined under section 143. Now case 2 we can take. Case 2, how much amount refund we placed ma? 6,000. That is simply more than or equal to, yes ma, tax determined under section 143(1) into 10%. So minimum you have to place the refund 5,000. You placed how much ma? 6,000. So that's why here you will get the refund. How much refund how much? 6,000. And along with that 6,000 refund, they will give the interest also under which section ma? 244A. So that's why clearly act saying that if your refund is less than 10% of tax determined under section 143(1), no interest for you under section 244A. Ma, understood? Now this point is important for MCQ. Please refer. Yes, if you placed at least 10% of tax determined under section 143(1) as a refund, then only you will get the interest on refund along with the refund. Along with the refund, you will get the interest on refund. Now, please open the index of this chapter. Ma, one more point I want to convey before the closing the session. Open. Okay, in your free time, I will not explain you. In your free time, ma, 4 fees provisions are there. How many fees provisions? 4. Out of these 4 fees provisions, you will get one definitely as an MCQ. Pakka in every attempt. But 234F already we discussed in which chapter? Return of income. So if you file the return of income in a late manner, yes ma, 5,000 or 1,000 fees will be levied, right? Next, 234H also we discussed in the return of income. What is that? If PAN and Aadhaar if not linked, 234H fees. Yes, how much? 1,000. Some cases 500. Now 234E is if you are not filed the TDS or TCS returns properly, every day 200. How much ma? 200 per day you have to pay as an what fees. How much amount of fees you have to pay every day? You know, ఎంత strong గా చెప్పావరా? Every day how much ma? 200 per day. But the maximum it should not exceed what amount of TDS or TCS. Suppose my TDS amount is 10,000 If you calculated fees per day, totally it should not exceed how much 10,000. Next one ma, 234G also in this chapter you have to refer. Yes, SFT. Statement of financial transactions you have to furnish, like banks or charitable institution, recognized stock exchanges, financial institution. Every year they have to file the statement of financial transactions to the income tax department. If they are not filing these things within the due date, what is the due date? Example, previous year 24-25. What is that? Sorry, previous year what? 25-26 related things, we have to submit SFT 31st May of 2026, that is in the assessment year. This is a due date for submission of SFT. 31st May of an assessment year. If you not submitted within the due date, every day here also 200. But there is no maximum amount of fees. Here the maximum amount of fees should not exceed TDS or TCS. Here the maximum amount they are not telling. Yes, how much fees per day? 200 per day. Here also 200 per day. Clear? Yes, if you observe, these two already fees covered in return of income. These two you have to refer here. Both the section E and G are the same fees, 200 per day only. 200 per day only. But here the maximum amount of fees should not exceed TDS. Here the maximum is not there. Okay, 10 days, 10 into 200, 200 days. 200 days into 200 rupees you can calculate. Here there is no maximum amount of fees. So that's end with this chapter. Yes, you can practice the sums related to these provisions properly in this chapter. Clear? Yes, sir. Thank you.